Let's start with a new topic which is called as a quadratic equation. Now, when we look at the quadratic equations, there is something that we are supposed to find. They are just going to give you solve. Again, at the bottom of the quadratic equation, there'll be dash x is equal to dash comma dash. Okay, two blanks would be given and you are supposed to fill in those two blanks. Okay, now, how do you fill that in or how do you solve it? Now, wherever you see this word solve, that means you have to find the value of x is what I've told you already. Okay, now I am going to start solving it. Now, assume that it is actually in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. It is in this particular form, okay, is equal to 0. And so whatever is in front of your x square, whatever, now when I say whatever, I actually mean by it as whatever is in front of your x square is your a. Okay, whatever is in front of your x, that is your b, and whatever is the constant term, that is your c. Okay, so this is what I have here. Let me rewrite it for you and explain it to you all over again. What am I saying? I am saying that if I have ax square plus bx plus c, then each term is representing an alphabet here. Okay, and notice the next step you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do a times of c, whatever it is. So here in this particular case it is 1 times of 6, which is equal to 6. Now whatever the factors you get AC. When I multiply A and C, I get AC. Here I got a 6. Now I need to find the factors. What am I supposed to find? I'm supposed to find the factors such that when I add the factors or subtract the factors, then those factors are going to be what do I call it, they are going to be equal to the b term. When I add the factors or subtract the factors, they are going to be equal to the b term. Okay, so fine. So here let's apply all of these steps that we have studied. First I have to do a times of c. So I'm doing my a is 1 and my c is 6. So in the rough column or in the center also I can do it. 1 times of 6 is equal to 6, and I have to find the factors of 6 such that when I add them or I subtract them, that is equal to a b. B is what 5 is my b. So 2 3s are 6, right? When I multiply them, they should be equal to 6. Okay, when I multiply this, it should be, I'll put the arrow here so I instead. Okay, when I am going to multiply these factors, it should be equal to the 6 over here. But when I add them, it should be equal to the b term. Okay, so 2 3s are 6. What I'm going to do, 2 3s are, I will get a 6, and when I do 2 plus 3, I get a 5. So we are going to split the middle term and write it. So instead of writing 5 directly, 5x square plus 5x, I'm no more going to write 5x. What am I going to write? I'm going to write it in the factor form, that is 2x plus 3x becomes a 5x. So I've split the middle term. Plus 6 is equal to a 0. Fine. Then take the first two terms, second two terms, and factorize them. Take the common terms out. So here x goes out and I am left with x plus 2. And in these two terms, plus 3 goes out and I'm left with x plus 2. Now there's a catch. Whatever you have in this bracket, the same thing comes in the other bracket. If you're getting two different brackets, that means you have done something wrong. Then again, factorize it furthermore. You can see that x plus 2 is common in this and x plus 2 is common in that. So take the x plus 2 out and you are left with, okay, then you are left with your x plus 3. What are you left with? You are left with your x plus 3. Now since this is equal to 0, each one of them will be equated to 0 individually. Okay, x plus 2 is equal to 0, x plus 3 is equal to 0. Send it towards the other side. X is equal to minus 2 and x is equal to minus 3 is what I get. So minus 2 and minus 3 are the answers to this particular term. Okay, let's do the same drill all over again. And what do I see? The equation is given as x square. So it is given as x square, which is write it under the equation ax square plus bx plus c. Then what is the term that you're supposed to do? A times of c is what you're supposed to do. So a is 1 and c is 14 times of 14. It is going to be equal to 14. This is multiplication actually in here. Okay, and when I find the factors of 14, that is 2 sevens are, and when I add them it is equal to 9 automatically, which is my b term. Cool. So I'm going to write this, split the middle term and write it. So x square plus 2x plus 7x, this eventually becomes my 9x, isn't it? Plus 14 is equal to 0. Then I'll take the first two terms and the last two terms. My x goes common out. Okay, x is common in both of them. I'm left with x plus 2. Here 7 is common, so 7 goes out, and I am going to do x plus 2 here. Okay, which is equal to a 0. Then again I see x plus 2 and x plus 2 is common, so I'll take that particular term out. What is left? X plus 7 is left here, which is equal to a 0. So x is equal to minus 2, because when I do equate it to 0, it actually becomes like this. Let me do each step. So that x plus 2 is equal to 0 and x plus 7 is equal to 0. Sending it here, it becomes x is equal to minus 2 and x is equal to minus 7. That's it. These are your answers. Looking at the third question that is given over here, it is given that x is solve. Now looking at this question which says a solve, I know that I have to give it, and looking at it, it is given in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. I know that I have to find the values of x, and how many values of x will be there? X will have two values, or two solutions it will have. How many solutions it is going to have? It is going to have two solutions. Why is that so? The solutions depend upon the highest power of x. Okay, they depend upon the highest power of x. Okay, now if in the examination they give you an equation as in 2x square plus 3x plus 7 minus 4x cube, then what do I do? How many solutions? And they will ask, how many solutions will this equation have? This equation will have, for this particular equation, the x values will be 3 different values, because it depends upon the highest power of x, which is a 3 here. Okay, so likewise in this equation there are going to be 2 values of x, because the power of x is square. Okay, what is the method? You have to multiply a with the c. What is c? This is the c. What is a? Whatever is in front of x. So there is nothing in front of x means 1. Okay, and then multiplies with 20, you get a 20. What are the factors of 20 such that when you add them or subtract them, you get the b value? Okay, so 1 times of 20, that is there, 2 times of 10 is there, and 4 times of 5. But if I add these two, I get 21. If I subtract, I get 19. Okay, when I add these two, I get 12. When I subtract, I get an 8. If I add these two, I get a 9. If I subtract, I get a 1. So none of these options are matching my b. Okay, then how do I proceed with this equation? How do I solve this equation given here? Okay, to solve this particular equation, it is given as x square plus 11x plus 20. There is a value. There's a formula. What is the formula? Minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac is the formula that is given to you over 2a. Okay, now quickly moving ahead. Minus b, what is my, this is my a, this is my b, this is my c. So the formula says minus b, so it becomes minus of 11 plus or minus. Now you would say, how am I going to put this in the calculator? I'll show it all to you, don't worry. B square is 11 square minus 4. A value is nothing, that means a 1, and c value is a 20 that I have. Okay, divided by 2 times of a, that is a 1 again. Okay, then I take my calculator. I will split it into two patterns. What it is? Minus 11 plus root 11 square minus 4 ones are 4, 4 twos are 8, 80 it becomes. Okay, divided by 2. One of it will go with a negative sign, the other goes with a positive sign. Inara, check the mobile. 80 over 2. So here we got what? The plus 1 and we got the minus 1. And in the calculator, how am I going to put it? First, this would be substituted in the calculator. Okay, so it goes as, how much does it go as? It becomes minus 11 remains as it is here. Okay, it turns out as minus 11 plus, that is 121 minus 80. Inara, get me the calculator. Quick. Shut the door. So here it goes as 121 or 11 squared. You could directly put this part in the calculator, you put it. What do you put in the calculator? You put this part, then you find the root of it. Okay, so it goes as mode 1. I have to take 11 square. 11 times of 11 minus 80 is what you do, and then you get the answer as 41. Okay, then you do the root of 41. Okay, root of 41 you do. So we'll write, what did we get? We get root of 41. Okay, divided by 2. For this one also it goes the same way, minus 11 negative root 41 over 2. Then what do? You take the root of 41 value. Root of 41 is turning out to be how much? 6.403. So it becomes minus 11 plus 6.403. No, 6.4 will stop it by 2. Okay, here also minus 11 minus 6.4 over 2. Okay, then simplify the complete thing. Then you're going to put the numerator in the calculator. So 6.4 minus 11 you're going to do. So that becomes minus 4.59 over 2. It further becomes minus 4.59 divided by 2 it becomes. Okay, so it divides by 2. It is going to be minus 2.29. So it goes as minus 2.29. Okay, that's the answer. Likewise here, when you do this, it adds together. So it becomes 0.471, 17 over 2, negative 17.4 over 2. Then that becomes, how much does it become? 17.4 divided by 2 turns out to be 8.7. So one of the 8.7 is one value that you get. The other value is 8.7. This is. Okay, 8.7 and negative 2.29. So this is the way you do this question. Okay, now these are the values that you do. Let me resolve the complete question for you for once, and then we'll see it again, what we have done in this particular question. Okay, now this is the question that is given to you. Now with this particular question given, what am I supposed to do? I am supposed to find the values of x. So what do I try doing? I try the multiplying the terms a and c. So 1 times of 20, that becomes a 20. And I, looking at the factors of 20, 2 10s are, 1 20s are, 4 5s are, no one is going to give me an 11. So what do? I go with the formula minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, my b is minus 11, negative from the formula, b is 11, I'm going to write that, plus or minus again b square, that is 11 square minus 4 times of 1 times of my c is 20, divided by, the whole thing is divided by 2a, that is 2 times of 1. Then what do? You simplify the bracket part, the thing that is inside the bracket, you simplify it. Okay, so minus 11 plus or minus, you keep it like that itself. Solve, it becomes 121 minus of 80. Okay, divided by 2. Again, what do? You simplify it further. Minus 11 plus or minus root of 121 minus 80 turned out to be 41. Okay, root of 41 over 2. Then further what do? You do minus 11 plus or minus root of 41 you calculate, which turned out to be root of 41. I need to do it again. Root of 41 turns out to be, I switched off the calculator, sorry. Root of 41, 14 of 41 is equal to, it turns out to be 6.40. Okay, there are two options. Okay, you can simplify it further to get the decimal answer, or else you can leave your answer here. Now you would say, ma'am, plus minus, how is that two answers? I'll show you how it is two answers. Minus 11 plus root 41 over 2. Minus 11 minus root 41 over 2. These are the two answers that you can get. Don't go with the decimal part and all. Don't solve the decimals. This answer is more than enough. Because, why am I asking you to stop here? Is because your calculators, the calculators that you are using, do not allow you to find the value of 41. There is no root 41 in that calculator. So when you do not have it, how you're going to find it? And you don't know any manual method of finding the root, so you can leave your answer here as such. Okay, but if in case you get minus 11 plus root of 16 by 2, you know root 16 is 4, then you will have to simplify, no doubt. Simplify, plus or minus 4 over 2, it becomes minus 11 plus 4 by 2, it becomes minus 11 minus 4 by 2. Then do the solutions. If the root is known to you, if it is a square number inside the root, then you will have to do all the steps. But if it is an not a square number, it is a prime number or something else, then stop it like that itself. Okay, next, moving ahead. Now here they are asking you to give your answer to the correct two decimal places. Okay, let me just see it for once. When they're asking me to do it for correct two decimal places, how do I do it? The same way. Minus b plus or minus, I go with minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac over 2a is the formula. Starting to substitute in my formula, minus 7 plus or minus under root of b square becomes 7 square minus 4a, and then I have a minus 13 here. Okay, by 2a, that is 2 times of 3. Then it becomes minus 7 plus or minus root of 7 square becomes 49. And then if I multiply all of this in the calculator, 4 3s 12, 12 3s 12 13s, 4 times 3 times 13, if I do it in the calculator, I get 156. This is going to be a positive 156. And how is that so? Because this minus and this minus, when they multiply, it becomes plus 156. Okay, then what do I do? Over 6 is what I have. Then I'll start simplifying it. When I start simplifying it, it becomes minus 7 plus or minus root of 156 plus 49. 156 plus 49. That turns out to be 205. 205 over 6 is what you get. Then find out the root of 205, because he said correct it to two decimal places. So find out the root of 245, that 205, that is 14.317. It is root of 205 is 14.317. That turns out to be 14.32. Okay, rounding off to two decimal places. This is what you do. So minus 7 plus or minus 14.32 divided by 6. Now split it. Minus 7 plus 14.32 over 6 minus 7 minus 14.32 over 6. Solve the numerators, then divide by 6 and you get your answer. Okay, so it goes as minus 7 minus 7 plus 14.32 is this much, then divided by 2, it turns out to be 3.66 for this one. 3.66 here. Then it becomes minus 7 minus 14.2, whatever the answer I get, that again divides by 6 and it goes as minus 3.55. Minus 3.55. This answer I messed up here. And what did I mess it up as? I was supposed to divide it by 6. I divided by 2. So that turns out to be 1.22. This answer is 1.22. Okay. So these are the two possible values of x. And x will be given to you. X is equal to dash, comma dash, or x, or they'll give it as x is equal to dash and dash. Then what do? Copy these values there. 1.22 minus 3.55. And if it is given like this, you write 1.22 and minus 3.55 is what you write. Okay. Again, give it to three significant figures. The same way you're going to do. What is the formula? Minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a is the formula given here. Okay. Moving ahead, we're going to do. So going ahead, we are going to check in here. How do we do it? The same way. Okay. B's and C's. B is nothing but minus 1 plus or minus under root of b square, that is 1 square minus 4 times of a. A is 1 and C is 11 over 2A. Okay, now here there is a catch before I start solving it. Like an idiot, or like all other common students who do it, I started solving the question the same way. But I did not notice one thing here. What is the catch? This equation. All the previous equations had an equal to 0 here. Equal to 0. Equal to 0. We could do it. But here, there is no equal to 0. We have to make it an equal to 0. So how do I make that an equal to 0? I am going to bring this 14 down here. So it becomes x square plus x plus 11 minus 14 is equal to 0. That becomes x square plus x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay. Then what do I do? Again, minus substituting in my formula. What's the formula here? That's the formula. So it goes as minus 1 plus or minus under root of b square. That is 1 square minus 4 times of a, and c is minus 3. Okay, divided by 2a. Now here, why did I go back and check my answer? What made me redo my answer? Is because we will never have a negative answer in the root. Because if I had done it the previous way, what was my mistake? Let us do that also. Minus 1 I had, plus or minus under root of b square, that is 1 square, minus 4. A was 1 and my c was 11 we took, right? When I solve the inside bracket part, it becomes 1 minus 44. That becomes plus or minus root of minus 43. Root of negative numbers is not possible in mathematics. It is not possible. So when I was writing, I got, oh, minus 44 and 1 minus 44 becomes 43, negative 43. So that's where I clicked, I did a mistake and I checked what was there here. It was a 14 which I did not solve. Now let's go to this and start solving it. Okay, so it becomes, what does it become like? It becomes again minus 1 plus or minus of 1 square, that is 1. Now here minus and minus, it becomes plus, 4 3s are 12, divided by 2. Minus 1 plus or minus root of 13 over 2. Now again, what you're going to do? If you have a better calculator, FX991 ES plus or so and so series, start solving it. If you don't, then go with minus 1 plus root 13. Find your root 13 individually. Okay. And divided by 2, you will get it as, because he said up to 3 significant figures, 1.302, 1.30. 1.302 is the answer, or 303, because there are 3027 is the answer. So it becomes 1.302. 3 significant figures. These are the significant figures that are there here. I cannot consider this one as a whole. So that becomes 1.30 for this one. For the positive one. For the minus one, minus root 13 over 2. Let's do that now. Sorry, my inverter is beeping. And what's an inverter? There's a device in India that automatically starts when there is power cut. And that turns out to be negative 2.307. It becomes negative 2.3027 is what I get. Then again, I round it off to 3 significant figures. This is the answer. So these are the 2 answers that I have for this one. This is the 3 significant figures we have done. Decimal places we have done. We have done it using the formula method. We have also done the normal quadratic equation method here.